Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Dear viewers, it's a pleasure to see you again this evening as we continue. Now let us continue to those episode 6 of the story about the reburial part of the mysterious Master Tao series written by Kevin on the True Ghost Stories channel this evening. Tonight, now we invite you all to hearing episode 6 story by examining the reading performance of Teen Shadow. Hui was still tossing and turning, unable to sleep. He kept shifting, turning from one side to other, which woke Nu up. She asked, "What's wrong, honey? Can't sleep? Huh?" Hai sat up and sighed. He replied, "However long I lie here, I just can't sleep. I feel restless, really uncomfortable. Sometimes I feel chest tightness. It's a strange feeling, you know." Hearing that, Nu became worried. Worried? Oh no! Could it be the food we had this afternoon? Hoi said to his wife, "No, it's not that. I have this feeling that there's something gloomy in our house. Something that is quite difficult to explain." Nu immediately frowned. "What do you mean by that?" "What? Do you mean gloomy? You're starting to sound like Mom again. There you go again. Just a little thing, and you're jumping to wild conclusions. There's a spirit or evil presence. If you have something to say, just say it. Stalling is annoying." Hui gently gestured for his wife to lower her voice. Then he replied, "I haven't even said anything yet. And we both know my mom has a spiritual connection. She participates in spirit medium rituals, serves deities. Ever since he was little, had many issues, difficult to raise, and had to send to live at the temple. Even though I don't believe in it, there are things that are real. Since he was little, when he attends a funeral or a death anniversary, he always experiences the same kind of situation. Mom says he's sensitive to negative spiritual energies, and negative energy when going to places where someone has died, or anywhere that carries spiritual energy. He would feel chest tightness, difficulty." "Died? Are you joking with me? I only have my mom and dad. Today with you and me, that makes 4 people. Who are you saying is dead? Are you cursing my parents? You and your mom are just too much." At that moment, seeing spirits, always seeing things. God, this place you see ghosts, that place you see demons. The house has incense, spiritual rituals, and worship. I feel so suffocated. Finally got a chance to visit my parents' home. And you're just gloomy and bored. You got mad and said my house feels dark and depressing, like someone just died. My parents welcomed their son-in-law home. They treated you like royalty, with food and warmly. Take a look at yourself. Back in the day, I loved you, but you're so superstitious. To such an extreme. There, not even giving her husband a chance to say another word. Nu stepped off bed and opened the door to the room and walked out. The door slammed shut. Hu sat on the bed, dazed. He really didn't mean it that way. That's why he just lay there, not daring to say anything to his wife. However, Hui's instincts had always been accurate. Every time he attended a funeral, he would feel like this. Even the monk said that Hui was sensitive to places with negative energy, someone who easily sees spirits and ghosts. That's why, since he was a child, Hui had always kept a protective talisman with him. But Nu also had her reasons. There were 4 people in the house, all healthy. Moreover, this wasn't the first time Hai had visited his in-laws. The previous times he ate well, slept soundly. He could not understand why it felt so strange. Hui sighed, opened the door, and went to look for his wife, still not knowing where she was. Hui heard a faint sound coming from the first floor. Hai smiled, probably sulking again. She must be downstairs. Everyone upstairs, even his parents, slept. So how could he call out? She gets upset so easily, he'd have to for a new match. In preparation, thinking that, Hai tiptoed carefully, moving slowly and quietly so as not to make a sound. He followed the hallway lit by a dim yellow light, heading down toward the last few steps. The sound grew more and more clear, and louder. When he got there, he gently stopped. To his right was the hallway leading to the living room, and further ahead was the storefront, the area for buying, selling, and trading gold and silver. However, the sound Hui heard was coming from the left side, the direction of the kitchen, and dining room. It sounded like someone was rummaging around, searching for something. Hoy muttered to himself, "In the kitchen? Maybe she's mad at her husband and went down to eat out of spite?" But just as Hoy finished speaking, the sound completely stopped. He still assumed his wife was in the kitchen. Hoy cautiously stepped downstairs. He felt that something was off, uneasy, a chill running down his spine. "Nai, are you down there?" Hai immediately dropped the idea of scaring his wife. As he walked, Hoy kept calling out, but even after he had gone down to the kitchen, there was still no one there. The only response was the dark, silent kitchen, not a single sound. The thick darkness made Hoy feel a sense of pressure and shortness of breath. Still calling his wife's name. "Nai, please don't scare me. I'm sorry." "Ask for more information." Reaching out, Hoy turned on the kitchen light. The light came on. Hoy didn't see anyone. Looking toward the refrigerator, he noticed the door was still slightly open. Hoy walked over and closed it. On the floor, there were still traces of dark red liquid, with a faint metallic smell in air. As he bent down what kind of liquid it was, a hand slowly reached out from under the dining table. From behind the tablecloth touched table, the cover almost touching the floor. Hand still and was nearly touching his ankle. Hai suddenly jerked back as fast as lightning because something had frightened it, causing it to withdraw its hand. Hai sprang to his feet and immediately felt a tightness in his chest, making it hard to breathe. The light bulb in the kitchen below suddenly started flickering and blinking wildly. The stillness, combined with this ominous sign emanating from his own body, made Hui realize he had to get out of there immediately. I was certain that something dangerous was lurking nearby, that seemed to be in the shadows. He tried to run as fast as he could out of kitchen. When Hai ran away, the shadow light suddenly went out. From beneath the table came the sound of groaning, growling, and teeth grinding. With a grating sound of teeth. "Damn it, I'm starving. Oh, my gold. I want so much more gold." Hai ran for his life up the stairs, occasionally glancing back to see if something was chasing him. When he slowly reached the second floor, Hui was still looking back down at the first floor. His face was completely drained of color. Before he could catch his breath, he ran in a panic. Hui was completely drenched in sweat and suddenly crouched down, clutching his head, because when he turned, Hui saw a white form standing right in front of the two's window, leading to the hallway. Clapping. He dances, very enthusiastic. "Husband, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Why would you suddenly yell like that, not letting me sleep, right?" Not hearing his wife's voice, Hai peeked out, looked up, and it really was his wife. The white figure was actually Ni, wearing a milky white nightgown. Just as Hai was running upstairs, Ni opened bedroom door and stepped outside. What a scare. Hai dropped down to the floor, leaning against the hallway wall, pale-faced. "Mita, I go. I'm sorry. Because I keep..." "Thought what? You better stop it, or else later on." "What? You have to stop. Not later. Even your own wife literally is someone you're afraid of. Who can you live with? And who were you doing sneaking downstairs anyway?" Hai immediately replied, "I was looking for you. I heard the noise coming from downstairs. I thought you were down there. I went to check but didn't see anyone." Then suddenly the kitchen light started flickering. It seemed creepy down there. Nu laughed and said with a smile, "You silly bunny, it was just a flickering light bulb, and you got so scared you ran for your life. Why are you here? No wonder you see your wife." Mine screamed like a ghost again. I got down. I wasn't in the house. I was next door in my parents' room. While the couple was talking, slowly, from the room next door, Mrs. Tra opened the door and came out. Seeing her daughter and son-in-law sitting in stairway hallway, Mrs. Tra immediately asked, "What's going on, you two?" "Son, I just heard someone's voice like a boy. Wasn't that Hai yelling just now?" Nu nudged her husband to stand up, then smiled and said, "Yes, Mom. He saw me in my pajamas and it was white. He thought it a ghost, so screamed." "Mom made you come all the way out here." Mrs. Tra laughed and said, "It's okay. I haven't been able to sleep anyway. I've been mad at your father since earlier tonight. You two come back here and don't even know you'll say I'm lying, blaming it on him." Today he just stayed holed up in his workshop, working without anyone knowing what he's even doing. What day and night? Huy immediately. So, Dad's not in the room? Nai immediately replied, No, I was supposed to sleep with Mom just now, but she said you were scared and didn't have anyone beside you, so she sent me back to my room. Dad's probably asleep too. Maybe the noise you heard earlier was from him. Come on, go to sleep. It's the middle of the night. No point standing here talking. Mom, go back to your room. Oh, I'm going to bed too, right now, at this moment. Mrs. Tra nodded and returned to her room. Hers. Ni pulled Huy inside. In the room, after a moment, Nai squinted. Serves you right for being so superstitious, knowing you're scared. So I gave you a fright you almost peed, Nai said, while Hai just stood there frozen. Hai was thinking about when he went down to the kitchen. Clearly, when he stepped onto the first floor, Huy still clearly heard rummaging sounds. If it had been his father-in-law, then they should have run into each other. But Huy didn't see anyone at all, and the house doesn't even have a dog or a cat. The more he thought about it, the more confused he felt. Just now, Huy had shouted so loudly, yet Mr. Lam was nowhere to be seen. Still dazed, lost in thought, Huy was pinched on the ear by Nhin. He asked, Are you daydreaming again? Imagining nonsense, right? No? Huy asked his wife angrily. Honey, it's been a long time. That evening at dinner, Mom told Dad, Have you ever tried blood pudding before? Nai nodded and replied, That's right. My mom has never eaten blood pudding raw food that like fish salad or any kind of undercooked food. Hai continued, But tonight I saw your dad eat 2 bowls of blood pudding. He said it was tasty. Then told your mom to must buy blood pudding for Dad. Nai immediately, Click your tongue. Old people sometimes change their personalities. Change your mind. Mom said Dad has been lazy these days. To get into work, he barely even eats, maybe. The pig is clean, so Dad eats it. But what about that? Say it now. Nai just shook her head, then smiled. Why are you asking that? Come on, honey. Let's head home early. Okay? Huy was annoyed, but still replied, Got it. I don't need to remind me. He lay down, covered himself, turned his back to Nai. In the final scene, there was no more fear. The blanket was gently lifted and Hai hugged Nai tightly from behind. Even though Nai thought she was doing it for his sake, Huy didn't care. He just held Nai tightly. The young couple can make up easily. Just hugging back and forth and having skin-to-skin contact is enough to make the anger disappear. Like that. Giggling and then pushing. Hai down on his back, laughing at each button. Nai leaned down, kissing from his neck down to his chest. Nai paused, holding the necklace in her hand, made from a rather coarse hemp-like cord with the purplish stone attached, looking quite bulky and extremely rustic. At that moment, Nai asked, I always see you wearing this necklace. You don't even take it off when you sleep, doesn't it bother you? Hai laughed and replied, I've worn it since I was a kid. I'm used to it. Doesn't feel bothersome at all. Nai sighed. My family has so many beautiful designs. Back then, my parents kept saying they'd replace your necklace with gold. One whichever pendant. Whatever parents do, that face I also just wouldn't listen. My dad even said, maybe you look down on our family's gold. When Huy heard that, he replied, I never meant it that way. This necklace is of a monk who resides in Ung Pagoda. My mother held a ceremony to send me to the temple. The monk was very fond of me, so he personally wove this necklace for me. For you, it is both a talisman and an exorcist, and also a please don't misunderstand and think that way. For you. Nu grinned and replied, I know already. You've told me so many times I've memorized it. Here, whatever. Let's just keep going. I'm enjoying it. Hai nodded, his face blushing. The activity continues for a while, and during this time, it is quite enjoyable and engaging. Early the next morning, Ni and her husband were folding the blanket, tidying up the room in the bedroom to get ready to leave when Mrs. Tra came over. Seeing her daughter and son-in-law finishing up their packing, Mrs. Tra said, I thought this time you two would stay at least a few days. You just got here yesterday and now you're leaving already. Nu gently smiled and reassured her mother. Yes, I already told you, Mom. I have to. work at the office. This trip to Hanoi was also a chance to take care of some business. Came by the house for a short visit. I have a meeting this afternoon, so my husband and I have to head back now. You know how my work is, Mom and Dad. We'll come back for Tet and spend the holiday here with you. Okay, Mom? Hearing that, Mrs. Tra sighed. Well, if it's long like that, then it can't be helped. You two, take care and please come back soon. At that moment, Nai asked, "Where's Dad, Mom?" Mrs. Tra replied, "He slept in the workshop again last night." In a bit down, Mom called him. Those two husbands. The kids come home to visit and he acts all indifferent like it doesn't matter. Lately, that man changes his temper quickly lately. It's mother sounds. Just like a mole getting smacked outside. Then Nee laughed and said, "Come on, Mom. You're just a little overthinking. The faster it happens. After cleaning, let's head out. You go to Dad's room to say goodbye. Then we'll go home together as husband and wife and happily live together forever." When they got to the room, Mrs. Trang knocked. She knocked on the door, but no one responded. When she slowly opened the door and stepped inside, Mrs. Trang saw Mr. Lam down toward the wall on a small single bed placed in the corner of the room. Mr. Lam, Nai and her husband, Nee is about to come home. Guys, are here to say goodbye to you. Husband saw Nee pull the blanket back up. All three of them heard a faint snoring sound. Nai immediately said, "Mom, Dad worked all night, so he's really tired. Can you say goodbye to him for us?" She turned to look at Hui, seemingly noticing her husband was sweating, his face pale, and eyes were fixed on room without blinking. Nu immediately asked, "What's wrong with you? You look like you're not feeling well. Are you sick?" Mrs. Trang was also worried about her son-in-law. "Why are you suddenly sweating and looking so pale like this? Can you still drive, or should I go buy some medicine?" Hui stammered and waved his hand, replying, "No, it's okay, Mom. I just suddenly felt a bit tired. I'm fine." Mrs. Trang closed the door to the room and then said, "Maybe it's because you got up too early and weather is chilly. On the road too, should remember to wear jackets." Back in the house, grabbing his backpack, Hai wheeled the motorbike out to the front of the shop. Stepping out of the gold store, Hoi felt more at ease and comfortable, no longer under the crushing pressure that made it hard to breathe like just now when he looked at the bed where Mr. Lam was lying. Hui had feeling that the room filled with gold and silver was emitting a cold aura, along with the rotten smell like food left out too long, rotting. But what truly terrified Hui and made him break out in a sweat was the spot where his father-in-law's bed was. For a brief moment, Hui saw that the person lying on the bed wasn't his father-in-law, but something pitch black with no defined shape. At times appearing like a melting mass, at other times like wisps of smoke spreading out, enveloping the bed. But after blinking, Hui no longer saw those strange phenomena. At this point, with everything that had happened, combined with his intuition and perception, Hui was certain that the abnormal presence was what had made the house feel unstable and had left Hai feeling uneasy and fearful since last night until now was none other than Mr. Lam, Hui's father-in-law. Chow Ni was just a few kilometers away. Hui stopped car roadside, turned back to say to wife, "Hey, I don't think Dad is okay. It seems like something has happened to him." To be honest, as someone who follows materialism and is currently working in a government office of the state in Haiduong province, that's why he never believed in spiritual or ghosts. Hearing about those kinds of fears, he paused to continue the conversation. He worked in Haiduong. He had gotten used to it. Hui had looked into it a few times and found he was a gentle, affectionate man who knew how to care for and look after women. So the two of them fell in love and then got married after just 3 months of dating. By now, they've only been married for about a year and a half. "We have been together for 5.5 years now. Love fast, marry fast, so haven't had time to find Hai's family." At the time, all she knew was marrying the person she loved meant that no matter what, family obstacles overcome them all. Ni had always been a strong and independent woman, but after moving in together, she began to realize that her lifestyle and values were opposed. Husband's family is completely opposite. Hoi's father passed away when Hai was 15 years old. Hai lived with his mother. According to Ni, Tuong, Hui's mother, was an extremely superstitious and obsessed with the spiritual. Although Hui wasn't exactly spiritually gifted like his mother, he was still heavily influenced by her, and thus also very superstitious. One side lived spiritual mindset, the other was more materialistic. Many times, living at her in-laws' house, Nai felt suffocated by the scent of incense and agar wood that lingered all day long. Some days, when she needed to concentrate on work, she would suddenly start shaking the bell and wooden fish, chanting and reciting scriptures aloud. That's why this time, when they returned to her parents' house, Hui brought up ghosts and spirits, Nai got angry. At that moment, Nai asked, "What's wrong with my dad? I've noticed since last night that..." "Now you're implying too much about Dad," she said. Hui gently and calmly replied, "You have to listen to me. I know you've always been uncomfortable whenever I talk about spirituality. But this time, even if you're angry or even hit me, I still have to say it because I'm worried about Dad. I don't know what the cause is, but I can say that our dad right now is not really actually our father." Nu snapped upon hearing that. "If he's not my dad, then whose dad is he? This time he's just busy, work so not care about children." "You're thinking badly of my dad," Hai tried to explain to his wife. "What I mean is, it's not like that. Let me be blunt. I have a feeling that Dad is possessed by a ghost or demon. My mom, Mrs. Trang, said that people who are possessed tend to sleep facing the wall, like to eat raw food, and are afraid of sunshine. Now my husband and we must have Dad step outside into the sunlight and stand under the sunlight. We'll know. If not, I would have known right away." Nai looked suspicious. "Up. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, but the weather today, it's so gloomy." Nai immediately replied, "Look, just, if it's going to rain, where will the sun come from? With you? Will you stop talking? Bring some. Why don't you try applying what Mom taught you to real life? I've seen you sleep facing the wall plenty of times. And what about people who eat raw fish salad or eat raw food in general? This is such a waste of time. Just drive me back to Haiduong. My sister still has to go to the office to finish her report." Hui stammered at that moment. But Dad," Nai snapped. "Dad already has Mom to take care of him. In my family, no one has ever believed in ghosts or spirits. If you go back talk rubbish, Dad will scold you, and he won't be joking. Come on, let's go quickly. If it starts raining, clothes tear to shreds." "That's enough," Nai said as she urged Hui to get on the bike. Despite explaining everything, his wife didn't bother to listen and even scolded him. Hui could only shake his head and sigh, resigning himself to the situation. The couple rode off on their motorbike, heading straight for Haiduong. Along, Ni ignored all the signs from her husband's warnings, completely unaware that her father, Mr. Lam, was becoming increasingly frightening. Nai had no idea that this trip home would be the last time she would see my dad, especially during the days when Mr. Lam was still alive. The state of being alive encompasses the experience of existing and thriving in the world. "6 a.m. at the home of Mr. Sao and his wife. The Luong teaches Mr. Sao. All 9 children have gone to school. Mr. Sao was lucky to have a conversation with the teacher last night, and it felt like his whole world had been broadened of knowledge. He sincerely wanted to keep the teacher at his home for as long as possible, but Teacher Long still decided to say goodbye to Mr. Sao's family today. Please have some tea, teacher. And later, when my wife and kids come back from taking the children to school, they'll buy some breakfast for you, teacher." Pouring tea to offer Teacher Long, Mr. Sao said, "Luong, thank you, Mr. Sao," he said and sipped the bit of tea. He continued, "Sorry to trouble you and your wife. When Mrs. Chin gets back, please ask her to take me to the gold shop, all right?" Mr. So agreed, responding, "Please feel at home, teacher. There's a gold shop nearby. My wife and kids will take you there shortly." The Luong smiled. What is the name of that gold shop?" "Yes, it is a gold shop. Lam Trang Gold Shop. It's located right on the main road near wife's restaurant." "Lam Trang Gold Shop. That sounds similar to a jewelry store. Sounds like a jeweler that I have been to." That jewelry store's name is paused. He was just about to mention something. Stop. The teacher was about to mention something. It was as if in his memory, he suddenly couldn't remember anything at all. Thai Luong stammered, "What was I just saying?" Ansao immediately replied, "You were just saying the shop. Lam Trang Jewelry Store looks like some other gold shop." Hui's eyes looked somewhat dazed. Tei Luang said, "Is that so? But why can't I remember anything?" A few minutes later, Chi Chin returned, opened the gate, led her bike into the yard, and saw her husband with Tei Luang drinking tea in the living room. Guest. Chin smiled. "Honey, bye. Help me with some things, Mr. Luang." He left them. "Baby a little bit." Chin bought breakfast. "For you, my dear and beloved Tei." Ansao quickly ran out to carry the bags for his wife. Chin had bought a lot of things. Knowing that Tai Luang would be leaving today, perhaps Chin wanted to prepare a lavish meal to bid him farewell. The house, after being visited by Tai Luang briefly, had undergone a noticeable change. Early this morning, the Long saw Mr. Sao go to room incense, clean up incense, and first Mr. Sao's face was also bright, rosy and healthier than yesterday. While having breakfast, his wife cheerfully said, "When I went to the market today, everyone who saw me said my face looked cheerful and kind-hearted, much more than before, Master." Master Luang smiled and replied, "The ancients used to say, the mind shapes the appearance. One who has completely resolved the worries in their heart, understands principles of life, clear and open thoughts, naturally radiates a prosperous aura, and their appearance will flourish." After the meal, Nga asked to drive me to the jewelry store. Chin nodded. He replied, "Yes, sir. After eating, I'll take you there. Earlier, I passed by and saw the jewelry store was open. I wonder what's going on that they opened so early. Normally, that place doesn't open until 7 or 8 o'clock. It doesn't open until 7 or 8 o'clock. Husband and wife. As for that matter, perhaps money, even though we are not rich, like 5 or 7 years ago, which I need, no matter how much, we can take care of it." 6. Agree with wife. My wife is right, teacher. The two of us only ever thought about money, always trying to figure out how to make as much money, always trying to earn as much as possible. However, after what just happened, I've come to realize that in this life, there are things greater and precious than money. If possible, we hope you'll allow us. Let my wife and I please help you. Master Leon gently replied, "My mind is made up. Just do as I said. I've already told you. In the future, your family will still have many things to worry about. You'll definitely need a lot of money. Consider the amount you wanted to give me as already received. I'm returning it to you as a way of contributing merit to others in need. Moreover, over the past 2 days, you've treated me with such warmth and kindness that I'm already very happy. As for money, there's no need to force the conversation about money. Losing that emotional connection is what made you say there are things far more important than money in life. The more we interact and talk with Master Leon, the more my wife and I truly understand the intentions that Master Leon wants to convey and spread to everyone. Now I also indeed understand why Master Leon is loved and respected where he goes. That's how much people admire and honor him." After breakfast, I took the car to drive Master Leon to the Lam Trang gold shop. When we arrived, it was already 7 a.m. I parked the car on the sidewalk and said, "We're here, Master. My family often comes here to buy and sell gold. This shop is the top gold shop in district. Let me take you inside, Master." Seeing customers, smiling and greeting. "Oh, who is this? Is that you, Miss Chin? It's been such a long time since you last visited my shop." This Chin led Master Leon inside the shop. Seeing the elderly man with white hair, with a rustic appearance, wearing cloth shoes, a traditional headscarf, and carrying a worn-out cloth bag, so old its color had faded, Mrs. Trang pointed and asked, "And this is, Chubby Chin quickly replied, this is my teacher. No, this is my uncle from the countryside. What a stroke of luck to run into the owner here. My uncle has some gold he simply wants to sell." So, Master Leon just stood there, glancing around. Unlike the usual customers who come here, they all look at items, gold cabinets, admire, and choose. But this old man kept looking into the house, not paying any attention to the gold and silver. At that moment, Mrs. Trang cleared her throat and said, "Sir, our family buys and sells gold out here. There is nothing to deny. Look over there." Master Leon turned back, took the gold from his bundle, and placed it on the glass counter. Master Leon said, "Madam, please kindly show me this gold. How much did you sell it for? It's been more than 2 years since I sold it. Returned to Vietnam, so don't know the price." Chin was just about to say something when Master Leon pulled her hand to stop her, Mrs. Trang, then probed, "Oh, I thought you were a relative of Miss Chin here. Why have you been away for 2 years before returning to Vietnam?" Master Leon smiled and replied, "She and I are just 9, have some acquaintance. I am the person, China. I've been there for the past 2 years. It's just helping me. We'll buy as much as we can." The shop owner picked up the gold and examined it carefully. Mrs. Trang gave a faint smile and replied, "I thought you were a relative of Miss Chin. Let me have a look. I need to do a bit of checking." "Yes, madam, please kindly check," said the shop owner. Mrs. Trang took the gold to examine it. A moment later, she returned and said, "Your gold, although real, is of low purity. It's also raw gold, not yet processed. And it's not the type of gold my shop deals with, so even if you sell it, you won't get a good price for it. These days, when buying and selling gold, people need proper documentation. You can't just buy or sell." "No, sir, it's the same everywhere." "All right." Chin felt uncomfortable listening to Mrs. Trang, but when he looked at Master Leon, Chin remained silent. Master Leon nodded and said, "Why is it that way?" "All right then, madam, could you weigh this gold? Then see how heavy it is, so I know how much." "How much money?" Mrs. Trang immediately replied like this, "Sir, I just weighed it and your gold comes out to exactly 2 chi. It's low carat gold and it's also unrefined. 1 chi is 300,000 VND, so 2 chi would be 600,000 VND. If you agree, then sell it. If not, you're welcome to take it to another shop." Chin's face turned red, ears flushed, but he still tried to stay calm. Chin then asked, "So where is Mr. Lam? I usually see him as the one dealing in raw gold, buying it, right?" Mrs. Trang replied immediately, "My husband is inside the house. If you want, let me call my husband." "Who?" "Buy the same from Miss Chin." "What's up, sisters? We're all acquaintances after all." At this point, Chin Beo raised her voice and said, "Then just call Mr. Lam out." Master Leon then said, "That homeowner won't come out. It's best not to make things difficult for them, Miss Chin. Let me come here to sell gold, not to stir up trouble." "All right then. I'd appreciate it if the lady of the house could buy this gold from me." "Thank you, madam." Mrs. Trang looked at Chin and slightly pursed her lips. "See? Only grown-ups know how to handle things properly." "All right then. I'll just buy it right now for you." As she spoke, Mrs. Trang opened the drawer to take out the money and counted 600,000 VND for Master Leon. Receiving the money, Master Leon said to Chin, "Just get the car quickly. We'll leave immediately." But Master Leon seemed to want to stay and wait for something. Changed his mind. Chin said, "Yes, sir," outside. So Master Leon took the money but hadn't yet had a chance to leave. Mrs. Trang was uneasy, so she quickly spoke up. "What's the matter? The money has been handed over. There's no taking it back now. If you want to reclaim the gold, you'll have to pay a different price for it." Hearing that, Master Leon smiled, then said, "No, I have no such intention. I'm someone who understands the principles of business. I stayed behind because there's something else I want to mention. Thanks to the host, ever since I stepped into the house, I felt strong yin energy inside. This has a very strong negative energy. The house smells like a demon. Really, and to put it simply, someone in this house is possessed by a demon. You must fast perform a binding seal to properly and safely contain it. If not," before he could finish his sentence, Master Leon was interrupted by Mrs. Trang, who waved a duster and swept dust off the glass cabinet. Then she snapped sarcastically, "Well, where did all this dust come from, huh? It's filthy. It's only been a day and it's already dusty. Good grief, damn these flies." Then she swiped the feather duster right across Master Leon's body. Mrs. Trang feigned surprise. "Oh dear, you're still here, sir? Come on, those ghost stories only scare little kids. Even kids these days aren't afraid of ghosts anymore. In this modern age, don't be bringing in ghost stories from countryside to city just to scare me. Let me guess, after saying my place is haunted, you'll offer to become a ghostbuster, exorcising spirits and demons, right? All right, if you're done, please leave so I can definitely welcome my guests." "So, are you, still brushing dust off Master Luong?" Mrs. Trang turned away, not even looking at the old man. He was just trying to help her family. She shut her mouth and then slowly shook her head. Master Leon let out a sigh, respectfully. He greeted the jewelry shop owner, then left. Out on the street, he got into the car. Chin Bei was waiting to leave. After going a distance, couldn't hold it in anymore and asked the master, "You clearly knew they were cheating you, so why did you let it go? Even if you didn't say, let me ask. Justice for you. The current gold price is 800,000 per tael. Let's say it's a sale. Transaction, that price is less than half that amount. That piece of gold was surely more than too cheap. I've seen gold before too, and just by looking at it, I can estimate its karat. Saying it's low karat or impure is just a way to cheat you. That's truly outrageous. I never thought that couple would be so dishonest in their business. Master Leon gently replied, just stay calm, D. Don't get worked up, and there's no need to be angry. There's no point in getting angry at someone who's about to die. I had tried to sow good karma, but the evil deeds they've committed are too great. Big, I myself cannot do otherwise. Is about to face mourning if they're not careful. The whole family could potentially die. There, dark clouds gathered and the sky rumbled with dry thunder. Master Leon and Chin had just arrived home when it started pouring rain. At the gold shop, Lam Trang, realizing she had tricked Master Leon out of a hefty sum. Outside, the rain poured down and Mrs. Trang lowered shutters to boast inside to Lam. As soon as she opened the door to the workshop, a thunderclap roared loudly, felt as if the entire house was shaking. Gently things trembled. Mrs. Trang couldn't find Mr. Lam, her husband, anywhere. The thunder and lightning grew even louder. It was 7 in the morning, yet the sky was pitch black. A bit of water. She searched the entire house, from the ground floor to the upper floor, from the workshop down to the kitchen. Her voice hoarse from calling, but there was no response from her husband. Meanwhile, the house had only one entrance. Standing in the kitchen, Mrs. Trang muttered to herself, how strange. With this storm, where could he have gone? And I've been standing here all this time, outside the shop. If he went out, I should have seen him, right? Or maybe when I bent down to do inventory and grab some samples, he slipped away. Since yesterday, it seems like my husband has completely changed. That jealous streak of mine in the person, Mrs. Trang immediately deduced. Mrs. Trang started imagining all kinds of reasons and causes. Her mind, Mrs. Trang thought her husband stayed for 3 days in the workshop because he was secretly working on a unique and beautiful piece of jewelry to give to his mistress. Now that it's finished, he ran off and left his wife behind. Mrs. Trang immediately shouted, you rotten husband, I knew it. If you're not openly cheating, you're falling into the arms of some woman. Even in heavy rain and wind, with thunder rumbling, he runs off. I haven't caught him red-handed yet, but when I do, when you catch it with your own eyes, don't. While she was standing in the cold, cursing her husband, Mrs. Trang raised her nose, sniffed the air, and caught a faint scent of something coming from the kitchen. It was a strange smell. Leftover food. But I remember, last night I put everything into the fridge, didn't I? All the dishes and pots were washed clean too, so why is there such an unpleasant smell? Muttering to herself, Mrs. Trang shuffled around, trying to find out where exactly the smell was coming from. But when she glanced the kitchen, it looked clean, tidy and organized. She opened the fridge, and all the leftover dishes from yesterday were already put inside the refrigerator. Moreover, that musty odor wasn't coming from the tightly closed fridge. Still, Mrs. Trang opened it again to take another look inside. Inside again? Yesterday there was a piece of meat and a piece of grass carp. I clearly wrapped it up carefully to store in here. Why is it not here now? Could it be that Nai took it? No way, she never takes food. So many times I packed food for her to take home, she's still refused. That's it. It must have been Lan who took both the meat and the fish to give to that wretched woman. What a bastard! At home he complains about his wife's cooking, and now he steals meat and fish to give to that woman, and praises her cooking as delicious. Now come back here and see what kind of father you have. What a miserable fate for your mother. He is indeed, Name. I'm so upset. Mrs. Trang collapsed to the ground, covered her face and sobbed quietly, staring down at floor. Mrs. Trang noticed floor was speckled with a few reddish spots, like splattered blood, scattered across the floor. Fishy odor, like the scent of fish blood. Along with that was the smell of rot in the kitchen growing stronger. From where she was standing, it felt like that unpleasant smell was coming from somewhere very close by. Following the trail of small stains spreading across the floor, Mrs. Trang groped her way toward the dining table. Looking, she saw the edge of the tablecloth touching the floor also had blood stains. She reached out and carefully lifted the tablecloth. Mrs. Trang screamed in shock. The stench from under the table wafted up, making her grimace and quickly cover her nose with her hand. Under the table it was still there. Fish bones, scattered fish meat, fish blood, and a slimy, fishy liquid smeared all over the floor. Under the dining table, there was also a piece of pork that Mrs. Strang was sure she had put in the fridge yesterday. What is this? Why is the fish and meat under the table? It stinks so bad. Could it be that the fridge... Oh, a rat must have dragged it in here. No, Mrs. Strang stood up, grabbed a broom and a dustpan, and started to sweep the entire tablecloth, one hand covering her nose, the other stirring with the broom, pulling out everything from under the table. Everywhere she turned, Mrs. Strang felt vomit there. The reason that Mrs. Strang just gave was quite unreasonable. Even Mrs. Strang herself felt that way. The fridge was tightly shut. How could a rat possibly get inside? Not to mention, even a chunk of grass carp weighing about 1 kilogram was carefully wrapped and stored on the second shelf of the refrigerator. If a rat had dragged it out, the rat would have to be enormous. Being a very tidy person, always keeping everything neat and clean. Even a small mouse had never been seen in Mrs. Strang's house, let alone a big rat capable of dragging away a whole chunk of fish weighing 1 kilogram. Looking at the fish, it had been entirely eaten, but the piece of meat was only just over halfway consumed. As she bent down, she saw the piece of meat still bore rough bite marks. They didn't look anything like animal teeth. They looked more like human teeth. Suddenly feeling uneasy, Mrs. Strang dropped everything and rushed into the living room, switching on the bright lights, and moved toward the bed where Mr. Lamb had slept this morning, facing the wall. Mrs. Strang ran her hand over the mat, carefully inspecting the area around the pillow of the bed. At that moment, on the bed, on the pillow where Mr. Lamb had been lying, a foul, bad smell. On the surface of the mat, Mrs. Strang also noticed fishy bloodstains with bits of fish flesh still clinging. There were also bloody fingerprints on the pillow. Bloody fingers. Of course, the smell was terrible together. Mrs. Strang was so scared that she froze. With what she had just discovered, indeed, it seemed the culprit had eaten the raw piece of fish. And the raw meat in the fridge was eaten by her husband. Her husband, not a mouse or... But that wasn't all. Mrs. Strang recalled what happened last night. Her son, when he was running, ran upstairs with a terrified look in his eyes, saying there was indeed something strange in the kitchen. Until this morning, he looked into the living room. He broke out in a cold sweat. His face turned pale, and he couldn't breathe properly because he sensed something bizarre about his father-in-law. Last night, when his daughter angrily ran into the room to complain about the home issues, her husband kept talking about spirits and ghosts, making the whole family trouble sleeping just as the house feels a bit gloomy and frightening. Mrs. Strang even laughed and mocked her son-in-law. "You're a man and yet such a coward, always scared of ghosts at the slightest thing." But now, thunder rumbled the sky. It still rained outside, pouring heavily. Inside the large 2-story house, only Mrs. Strang was there, trembling at the sound of thunder, her face pale, colorless. From the very moment I stepped into the house, I could sense that there was a strong presence of negative energy inside this place. The house reeked of a foul, demonic stench. The person in this house is possessed by a demon. This house is haunted. Hurry! Hurry up and quickly hold the person. If not... I just remembered the words of the old man who came here about a month ago. Mrs. Strang stammered, "Oh no, that's right, my husband has been possessed by an evil spirit. Mr. Lamb, oh Mr. Where are you going? Mr. Lamb. Oh my God, my husband," she cried out while continuing to search every corner of the house once more, even under the bed and all the places Mrs. Strang thought Mr. Lamb might be hiding. But the result was the same. There was no trace sign of Mr. Lamb anywhere. The rain kept getting heavier with no sign of stopping. The misty light covered everything. The atmosphere became overwhelmingly gloomy, with an oppressive darkness that enveloped everything around. At the lovely home of Mr. and Mrs. Sow, the rain was pouring down like a waterfall. Mr. Sow said, "Master Leon, the rain is too heavy, sir. With a storm like this, if we wanted to go, we couldn't. So it seems the heavens want you to stay at our house for a few more days." Hearing that, Master Leon replied, "I will leave once the rain stops. As of today, it has already been 3 days since I arrived. While it's still raining, there is something I would like to ask the two of you for help with." The couple sat back down comfortably Mr. and Mrs. Sao pulled out chairs and took a seat. Master Leon placed his hand on the table, gently opened his hand, and took out a wooden box containing a fabric doll. The fabric doll was where the soul of the soldier Huang Xuantan was temporarily residing. While waiting for the couple to carry out the request, they promised to return the bracelet to exact place it was taken from. Handing the box to Mr. Sao, Master Leon instructed, "When you two set out to return the bracelet, make sure to bring the fabric doll kept in this wooden box. It will be helpful to you. However, it also depends on the virtue. Where is yours? Remember to take good care of it until you have kept your promise to departed." Receiving the wooden box with both hands in reverence, Mr. and Mrs. Sao bowed their heads and replied, "Yes, sir. We will remember, and yes, as you instructed, Master." Then, Master Leon took out 600,000 from the gold sale that morning, along with a piece of paper folded in half, and kept only 100,000. The rest, Master Leon handed entirely to Mrs. Chin. Mrs. Chin pulled her hand back, hesitant, stammering, Master, why are you giving me money, huh? Why are you giving me money like this?" Master Leon smiled and replied, "I'm not giving it to you, this money. I'm asking you to deliver it to a girl named May who works as a server at your rice shop. Help me with that. And this piece of paper contains a remedy for treating spinal disc pain. Take the prescription to a traditional medicine pharmacy and tell them to prepare it per the dosage wrote on the paper. Just get 10 doses. Each dose should be boiled down to 1 bowl and drunk at night before going to bed. After 10 doses, illness will be cured. Just give money and this cure to that girl. Tell her I want to repay her for the meal." Chichin still didn't dare to take the money and said hesitantly, "But that meal wasn't worth that much, was it? This is way too much compared to the meal at the restaurant." Master Leon immediately replied, "One should not compare feelings with money. Noble look and a kind heart like that girl's are worth. That girl's kindness was worth it. More than 1,000 taels of gold. Her house also. No need. See me repay my blessing. Will come in return. I have my own way to repay. I hope you'll accept this on my behalf." Chin was moved to tears upon hearing that. She never imagined that in this world someone kind enough to forget themselves to take care of others like that. It wasn't until they met Master Leon that So looked at his wife and nodded. "Since the master has asked, we must help." I took the money and the prescription. Master Leon, you truly are a sage. Your thoughts and generosity have surpassed those of ordinary people. We are really grateful for your guidance. Past few days, my wife and I have vowed to carve your words in our hearts. We will always remember them deeply and always keep them firmly in mind. Stroking his beard, Master Leon laughed heartily. "Don't think of me as someone so lofty, immortal. What nonsense. I'm just an old man, wandering and drifting about. It's just been talked up. That's all. There are still times when I'm hungry and have to humble myself to beg each meal. But I always hope that I can help as many people as possible, whether they are living or have already passed away. Helping others is also a way of helping itself." While the couple were talking in the park, talking to Master Leon, it seems like the other side outside the door, someone called loudly, "Miss Chin!" "Hello, Miss Chin. Are you home? Miss Chin, are you there? Hey, I think someone is calling outside." Mr. Sao said to his wife. Chin listened carefully through the sound of the pouring rain. "Someone's calling." "Name? Miss Chin? Not just Chin?" she replied. "That's right. Let's run out and see what's going on." "Come on." After saying that, Chin stood up, grabbed a bucket, slipped on her sandals, and walked out into the yard. In the pouring rain, Chin saw someone wearing a dark green raincoat, both hands gripping the gate. Seeing this, Chinja brought out an umbrella. The person waved and called out, "Miss Chin, thank goodness. There you are. Please open the gate. Please." Looking closely, Chin recognized the person standing outside the gate as Mrs. Trang, the owner of the gold shop. This morning, Chin and Master Leon had gone there to sell gold. Chin is straightforward and honest, always speaking her mind. So this morning she took a dislike towards gold shop owner. Chin didn't open the gate right away but stood in the yard and asked, "With this stormy weather, why aren't you at home? What are you doing here? What's going on? Aren't you afraid? Lightning or what?" Just as Chin finished asking, a bolt of lightning ripped across the sky with a deafening crash. Standing outside the gate, Mrs. Trang trembled all over. opened her mouth and pleaded, "Miss Chin, please open the gate for me. Swear on the grass and the earth. Please save me. Help me. Help me. Please, I'm wrong." "Okay." Looking at Mrs. Strang pleadingly, she said while pouting about to cry. Chin gave his tongue and went out to get it. "Key, open the gate. Give the next question. Help. What could my family possibly help your family with? Your family has money and wealth like water. What help could you possibly need?" As soon as the gate was open, Mrs. Strong rushed inside, grabbing Chin's hands, tears streaming down her face. "Miss Chin, where is the old man who came with you? Where is the girl who came with me to my house? Give me, let me see him. I'm begging you. Please save my family. Miss, my husband has disappeared." Hearing that, Chin was startled. As much as she disliked her, seeing Mrs. Trang's pale face, soaked hair, and trembling limbs from the cold rain, Chin's heart softened, feeling pity for Trang. She led Trang into the house. They stepped on the porch and saw Master Leon drinking tea with Mr. Sao. Chin's husband, Mrs. Trang, hurriedly tripped and nearly fell. She quickly got back up, still wearing her raincoat wet. Mrs. Trang hastily took off the raincoat, crying uncontrollably, and cried out, "Master Leon, sir, please help my family. Son, you have eyes like blind. Say a few words to say to you, please forgive me and save my husband." Son, please." Master Leon spoke to Mr. Sao and quickly helped Mrs. Trang up. Seeing this, Mr. Sao not only looked healthy, but was also able to walk. Mrs. Trang stammered, Husband Sao, are you cured?" Mr. Sao promptly replied, "I was helped by Master Leon, who came to my aid. I just woke up yesterday afternoon." At that, Mrs. Trang knelt down again. Both hands clinging to Master Leon's feet, pleaded desperately, "Master, please have mercy and bless us." Master Leon gently brushed her hands away and asked, "All right, just stand up and speak. You came to find me through the wind and rain. Your husband must be in some kind of trouble. Isn't that right?" "Right?" Mrs. Trang immediately burst into tears. "Yes, teacher. About half an hour after you and Miss Chin left. I called him, but no. He was nowhere to be found. I searched upstairs and downstairs, every room under the bed, inside the drawers. But there was no trace of my husband. At that moment, I suddenly remembered what you said. You told me that my husband was possessed by a demon in the house and that the dark aura appeared. If we didn't act quickly, disaster would strike. Then it started pouring rain. I didn't know what to do. I rushed over here to find Miss Chin, hoping to really see you so you could help us." At that moment, Master Leon asked, "Did you search thoroughly? Could it be that he went over to the neighbor's house?" Mrs. Trang shook her head vigorously and replied, "No, sir. I ran over to several nearby houses and they said they hadn't seen my husband. Also, before coming here, I discovered in our house someone had been eating raw meat, raw fish, fish bones, and rotten leftover meat stuck under the table for the past few days. My husband has also been showing very strange behavior. For 3 nights he stayed holed up in his room. He didn't eat or drink anything. The meals I cooked myself, he used to praise as delicious. Now he just barely puts an egg in his mouth. We've been together for decades, years. I never saw him eat food live. But yesterday, the neighbors gave 2 bowls of blood pudding. While we were eating, suddenly he saw the blood pudding crave devouring both bowls in a flash. On the bed, he was lying in the room, saw bits of meat and fish, scraps of meat and fish with leftover sauce, and the smell was absolutely foul. Chin got goosebumps. She said nothing more, and everyone was waiting for Master Leon. Master Leon thought for a few seconds, then replied, "Your husband has been possessed by a demon. He's reached the point of eating raw things, raw meat, raw fish. It seems the demonic energy of this spirit is extremely strong and hostile. No wonder that this morning when I arrived at your house, I was standing outside and I could already sense the stench of the demon's burning aura spreading out moment. If we had just acted to expel it, we would still have made it in time. But now, judging by the time, your husband has been gone for over an hour. It could be said that he fled in a hurry out of fear of me. In that case, it's still fortunate that he hasn't harmed anyone in the family yet, in the household. However, as for your husband, I'm afraid there's no way to save him anymore, because it's already too late. Now, even if we find him, we would only find his corpse." Indeed, hearing Master Leon's words, Mrs. Trang felt so devastated that her legs gave out and she collapsed to the ground, her eyes filled with sorrow. She stammered, No, he can still be saved, right? That can't be." Saying that, Mrs. Trang looked on Master Leon and stared intently. You must have a way to save him. Why did you know back then, but still refused to help? It was you. You were the one who caused my husband's death. Mrs. Trung grabbed Master Leon's arm and pulled at him. Master Leon didn't know what to do either. After all, Mrs. Trung wasn't entirely wrong. In truth, at that time, if Master Leon had set aside his resentment toward the head of the household and stubbornly rushed into the house to save him, things might have turned out differently. But Master Leon didn't do that. Chin couldn't bear to watch any longer. Since this morning, she had been seeing everything unfold. Now seeing Mrs. Trung grabbing and pulling at Master Leon, Chin lost her temper and quickly delivered a powerful slap like thunder right across Mrs. Trang's face. She took the full force of the blow from Chin's large, chubby, plump hand. Mrs. Trang became dizzy and collapsed onto the floor. The slap was strong, swift, and decisive, causing even Mr. Sao to jump in surprise. Pointing her finger at Mrs. Trang's face, Chin now gritted teeth and said, "You ungrateful wretch! This morning I held back out of respect for Master Leon, but now you dare come into my house and try to fight and accuse Master Leon. I can't forgive you, you greedy, deceitful woman cheating in business. You took more than a tael of gold from Master Leon, then paid him a measly amount in return. And not only that, you even looked down on Master Leon. When Master Leon warned you your family was in trouble, do you remember grabbing that feather duster and dusted it off onto Master Leon and kicked Master Leon out of your house? Who harmed your husband? It was you, no one else. Master Leon intentionally tried to create a karmic bond to help you and your husband. You were the one who drove Master Leon away. And now you come here blaming others? I will grab you by the neck and throw you out right now. Do you believe that? Get out of my house, you said. You were being virtuous. You run into a face like yours. Mrs. Trang burst into a fit of rage. Rage? Chin hurriedly grabbed the collar of her raincoat, dragging Mrs. Trang out to the porch. However, it seemed that Chin's slap snapped Mrs. Trang back to her senses, made her realize the only person who could find her husband now was this Master Leon. With blood dripping from her mouth, Mrs. Trang screamed, clinging desperately to Chin's leg, and begged, "Please, please, Miss Chin, let me go. I know I was wrong. I was just worried about my husband. You can hit me, curse me however you want, but please let me kneel and beg, Master Leon." Turning to look at Master Leon, Mrs. Trang cried even louder, "Master, please save my family. I'll return the gold no matter how much money I lose. I'll definitely accept it." So you think my family doesn't have enough money to give to Master Leon that we need a thankless, deceitful, backstabbing face like yours? Get out of my house. Chin shoved Mrs. Trang's hand away and continued dragging her outside. Mr. Sao witnessed seeing Mrs. Trang in such misery. He couldn't bear it. Looking at Master Leon, Mr. Sao hesitantly, "The master?" It seemed that Master Leon also wanted to make amends for some unresolved feelings. Master Leon let out a sigh and looked at Chin. Master Leon said, "All right, Chin, let her indeed stay here. But I'll say this up front, I'm not sure I can save her husband. At this point, we'll have to leave it up to fate. We must see how far your family's fate can carry you." Back again once more. Outside, the rain was still pouring heavily, with strong gusts of wind, with thunder and lightning rumbling loudly. Chin obeyed Master Leon's orders and let Mrs. Trang stay. Mr. Sao, out of kindness, made her a cup of ginger tea. Master Leon sat one side. The three of them, husband and wife, Chin and her husband Sao. Mrs. Trang sat on the other side, facing him and attentively waiting. Master Leon asked Chin to bring him a porcelain plate, a sheet of white paper, and a pen for taking notes, a bowl of rice, and an incense stick. After Chin brought all the items that Master Leon had requested and placed them on the table. At that moment, Master Leon then took out a set of ancient coins, tied together with a deep red twine, crimson hue, a shell. He neatly arranged everything in front of him in order to help Mrs. Trang calm down. Master Leon began to speak. "First, please, tell me the full names and birth dates of both husband and wife, knowing that the exact time of birth the better." Mrs. Trang immediately replied, "Yes, Master. My husband's Du Hu Lam Gregorian birth, April 27. The calendar is April 27, 2015, 1957. This year he's 48 years old. Counting the birth age, it's 49. As for me, I am Vuti Trang, born on February 15, 1960. This year I am 45 years old. Counting the birth age, it's 46. As for the time of birth, I honestly don't remember," Mrs. Trang said. As she spoke, Master Leon carefully took notes. One hand writing, the other hand counting on his fingers, calculating. His eyes slightly narrowed, and he let out a short breath. Master Leon continued asking, "Earlier you mentioned that over the past 3 days your husband had a change in temperament, always staying in his room and refusing to eat or drink. Let me ask before that, did your husband go anywhere, do anything, or meet anyone unusual?" Mrs. Trang fell silent, thinking. Her mouth stammered, fumbling, unable to form a sentence. Master Leon continued, "You must answer truthfully and quickly, no hiding anything, otherwise I won't help." Mrs. Trang quickly replied, Yes, there is. 3 days ago I saw my husband proudly say that he had bought a coin from a young man from the countryside. Young man from the countryside? Only 30,000 copper. The next day my husband and I were together in the production room, learning about coins. Forget to eat and sleep, Master Leon asked again. What's special about that coin? Have you perhaps already seen it? Yet? Mrs. Trang immediately nodded. Yes, I have seen it. That coin, it's a gold coin engraved with carved strange shapes. One side carved, and the other side has images of the 4 sacred beasts. When my husband dozed off, I went in to wake him to come out and eat. And that's when I saw the coin, so I got curious and took a look. While I was looking at it, my husband woke up, snatched the coin away, and scolded me for touching it, saying that the coin was actually the key for him to find many other gold coins. Chin's mouth dropped open in surprise. What? A gold coin? Your two only paid 30,000. Unbelievable. You and your husband are truly a pair of oddballs. Both husband and wife. I bet you tricked those people just like you tricked Master Leon this morning. Am I right? You con artist, you swindling, crook, cheating seller. Only now do you show your true colors. Greed leads to ruin. Taken something that isn't yours? That gold coin? What if it's cursed or haunted by evil spirits? There. Mr. Sao pulled his wife's hand. Come on, you can calm down here, Master Leon whispered. Sigh. Although Sister Chin is hot-tempered, still, what she said wasn't wrong. Based on the description of the coin as provided, it seems like it's an object used to seal off places with dark or dangerous energy, or possibly even sacred ground. But regardless of whether it's sacred or cursed, things like that coin are best left untouched. And when it comes to talk of hauntings or possessions, today, when I visited your family's gold shop, although the place looks wealthy, the moral and spiritual energy is gone. Forgive me for being blunt. Your family's wealth comes from dishonest business practices, looking down on the poor. Meanwhile, your rise in fortune was built on deceiving those who are poor and struggling for your own personal gain, with insatiable greed. Though wealthy, the later years will not be favorable. Life is short, and even after living a full life, one may not yet see consequences of their karma. However, this misfortune will accumulate and fall upon your children and grandchildren. Your husband, greedy, ruined himself. It was also that very greed that allowed the demon to quickly take possession of both his body and soul. Let me say this in advance. After casting the divination, I can only point you in direction to search. As for everything else must be left to the will of heaven. All right then, the spiritual hour has arrived. Let us begin the divination and interpret the I Ching. Looking at the clock, it was exactly 9:30 a.m. Master Leon lit an incense stick and placed it into a bowl of rice. He said, everyone must remain absolutely silent and face toward the door. Master Leon placed a string tied with 3 ancient coins into the palm of his right hand. He turned his palm over and then pressed it down with his left hand, placed in front of his chest, eyes closed. Master Leon muttered a prayer before casting the I Ching hexagram. After the prayer, Master Leon handed the string with the 3 coins to Mrs. Trang and said, you must untie the 3 coins yourself and place them into this turtle shell. Mrs. Trang nodded and followed his instructions. She untied the hemp string dyed red to take out the 3 coins, placing each one into the small turtle shell about the size of a palm. Master Leon continued, hold the turtle shell with both. Hold the turtle shell in your hand for about a minute. During that time, focus on what you wish to ask. Once you're done, shake the turtle shell and pour out the 3 coins. Keep holding the 3 coins in your hands between both palms like that for another 3 minutes. Whatever you ask, that's what will be answered. When I say drop, release hands and let 3 coins fall onto porcelain plate. We'll do this 6 times. For the next 5 times, I won't ask anything, just shake the turtle shell, pour the coins out, and then place them into the porcelain plate. Do you understand now, don't you? Don't you? Mrs. Trang nodded repeatedly. Yes, I understand. Okay, Master. Master Leon sat up straight, placing both hands on the table and said, "Let's begin. Shake the object." Turtle shell! The sound of 3 coins echoed inside the turtle shell. After shaking, Mrs. Trang poured the 3 coins into her palm, then clasped them tightly with both hands. Master Leon asked, "Hour of the snake, day of Kimui, month of year of the monkey, year of the rooster, homeowner Vu. Thi Trang is looking for her husband, Jo Hu Lam, born on April 27, 1957, which corresponds to the 28th day of Kai Ti, 3rd month of Giap Tin, year of At Dao, left the house at 8 a.m., which is the hour of the snake on the day of year of the goat, month of the monkey, year of the rooster. That correct?" Mrs. Trang immediately replied, "Yes, that's correct, Master." Master Leon continued asking, "Do you remember what color shirt your husband was wearing when he was still at home? Any identifying features?" Mrs. Trang quickly replied, "My husband was wearing a dark brown shirt and khaki pants. His hair is graying and he has a mole on his left cheek." Master Leon closed his eyes, counted on his fingers with one hand. Then he calmly said, "Cast!" Mrs. Trang released her hand, letting 3 coins fall onto the porcelain plate in front of her. The sound of the coins clinking against the porcelain plate rang out with a clinking sound. 2 coins settled, while 1 kept spinning for about 3 seconds before coming to a stop. Looking at the 3 coins, Master Leon began to use a pen to record the trigrams. He continued this process 5 more times until he had 6 trigrams. On the 6th round, when Mrs. Trang released her hand, 2 of the coins fell off the porcelain plate. Mrs. Trang was about to pick them up and put them back on the plate, but Master Leon stopped her. "Keep the position of the 3 coins exactly as they are." Master Leon finished recording the trigram. The upper trigram was also the final toss. Based on the 6 trigrams that Mrs. Trang tossed into the porcelain plate, Master Leon furrowed his brows. That sweat, rolled down from his forehead to his cheeks. Master Leon shook his head, lightly said, "Earthfire Mingdi, one of the ominous hexagrams among the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. The image of the hexagram has Kun above and Li below. It symbolizes darkness and gloom. When the sun is gradually setting, darkness envelops, and the daylight grows weaker and weaker. The light here can be understood as the very life and fate of your husband. It's too late, far too late. He can no longer be saved. I can only help your family find the direction to search for and bring back your husband's body. Heaven's will has been decided. Distant water cannot put out a nearby fire. The fate of the head of the household has reached its end. There is no way to change it." With a soft sigh, Master Leon picked up the porcelain dish containing a single coin, stepped out onto the veranda, gazing at the coin. Master Leon froze in place, his eyes showing a hint of bewilderment. Master Leon muttered to himself, "Could this be the will of heaven that the gods wish to send to me? Or is it merely a coincidence?" Din Shed. Thank you to our dear audience for tuning in. Farewell to all of you, dear, and we look forward to seeing you again next time in the next episode of This Story